So, hello, okay. So, welcome to everybody. So, my name is Giampaolo Armellin, and I'm in charge of the research unit at the GPI Research Center in Trento, Italy. And for this session, I would like to talk about some relevant aspects concerning healthcare management, and particularly focusing on what happens in this age of internet. And it could seem quite strange, but we'll focus on some limits we have to face on this, which is important to talk about, in my opinion, because we have many aspects providing us some figures concerning this growth of technology, which is very relevant. It's somehow we are facing an exponential growth and about available technology. I mentioned some figures coming from studies coming from Gartner, and the point is that we have many things we can use, as we discussed today in other sessions. And what is important to me is to mention that actually the internet is changing the way we think about health services. And nevertheless, it's important to consider that human beings are the focus about health services. So in any case, we have to think about knowledge management. We have to think about services, and we have to focus our attention about the relationships and roles we have in these services, because technologies are not the main goal. They can enable, but the point is that taking care of people means to focus on relationships and caring. So it's not just the aspect of providing technology to make distances shorter, but to provide technology to improve relationships and the quality of the process of care. So about this, we focus on these main aspects, and we start with some short presentation concerning what our panelists are, what's the business, what the experiences, what the research experiences. And on this aspect, one main point is about identify people. If you want to provide services, it's important to identify people and to provide the right information to the right people. And so we start with the presentation by Carmelo Battaglia. Carmelo works as you can read, the sales director of SME customer for InfoCert in Italy. And I asked Carmelo to explain the relevant point about identify people in these processes. So, please go.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the invitation at this important event. Mr. Sebastian, Mr. Silvian, thanks for this organization. I speak in this conference for the identity of the provider in healthcare. In deciding together with the organizers, they identify the challenge. We choose to focus on our digitalization initiative in healthcare can become a standard to be applied at the system level, the difficult in achieving this object and the critical to deal with. Again, I think that before process and the technologies, it is necessary to put the patient at the center, and for this reason, talking about digitalization We will speak first about digital identity and what the opportunities are to improve the lives of customer and the use of health service. As some of you may know the company, I work for InfoCert, is the first certification authority in Italy and a European trust service provider, with the chairmanship of DTCE Association. We are specialized in designing and implementing high-profile IT solutions for document dematerialization in different industries and countries. And we strongly believe in the benefit of digitalization of process, whether they regard private or public sector. About our core business, as you can see by the number, InfoCert has issued and managed more than 5.5 million qualified certificates of digital signature and 13,000 customer electronics invoicing solution, 1.5 million registered email account, and 600,000 documents stored with electronic archiving and long-term storage. Why I wanted to speak immediately about digital identity? You all know that next year will become effective the regulation EIDAS, an important initiative of the European Union which makes a real breakthrough in the management of online dialogue between the citizen and the government in all European countries. In this context, our government is launching within a few weeks' speed a public system of unique credentials related to the identity of each citizen to allow them access to all services of the public administration, including health. Because of the social and economic importance of this initiative, we will assume the role of identity trust provider through the implementation of a system for managing digital identity in a secure, compliant, and interoperability way. To achieve this ambitious goal, we have realized a project named Procida in a partnership with other Italian companies funded by the European Union. Manage the digital identity of a customer and service staff. When we talk about the healthcare sector, this activity includes managing a lot of high-sensitive information related to the patient. The tool then can be used in Italy to manage health information are two. The first one in electronic health record. This one represents a set of digital documents and data relating to health generated by existing and lapsed event about the client, covering his entire life. The second, recently introduced, is the digital patient dossier. In this case, is not covered the entire life of a patient, is not covered just the relationship with a single healthcare provider. Combining these instruments, we have realized a tool to cover the entire process from data production to the storage in the electronic health record and the continuous sharing of this data between a patient and healthcare provider. Thanks to the collaboration with Venice Hospital, we realized a digital system to handle the electronic health record, which support the most important process of dematerialization in healthcare, Specifically, we relied on the standard application that would enable to management individual clinic information using a documental repository guaranteeing full interoperability between different companies. Looking at the process we dematerialized, it begin with the production of a diagnostic image and a medical report. Subsequently, such information are stored in a customer repository, which is integrated with the InfoCert platform Legal Care. Thanks to this integration, the documents are automatically sent to storage in accordance with the law. Then the customer, through a specific interface, has the ability to easily access a document, keep using instrument of research, and show whose responsibility it is delegated entirely by InfoCert. Now, by integrating this process with the management system for digital identity of a customer of other technology that allow leveraging of the benefits of cloud, healthcare facilities can interact with the patient and all benefits are clear. But the best practice non a standard. And despite the experience acquired in the dematerialization, unfortunately, even today, is not possible to talk about a general standardization of this process in healthcare. In fact, in the various projects initiated by InfoCert with clients, there are a number of critical factors related to data management, critical issues that affect both regularity expected about that process. These include data ownership, the possibility for patient to select the data, to share the rules or criteria for the storage, as well as right about access to this information by the healthcare professional who at the different level interact with the patient. For all these issues, it is not always easy to find exhaustive answer in regulation issued and the national and the regional level over the year. Moreover, issues related to the digital of healthcare have cultural roots. The latest research in Italy showed that, in fact, only 52% of health providers want to invest in the short terms and the introduction of digital process related to the electronic health record, and that 83% of people don't even know what electronic health records are. If do this, we consider the confusion probably created by the constitutional reform that redefined the task of the central state and the regional in legislating these topics. It is clear that to find a system solution, it's necessary to act on the entire health journey that includes at least 5 important points: the administrative process, the patient digital life, the digital relationship, introducing more and more initiatives such as the digital reservation, the integration and the interoperability within the public administration thanks to unique and certificated digital identity of the people, and finally, leveraging of cloud technology to facilitate the real-time sharing of information to improve efficiency and effectiveness of medical treatments. Let me share with some final thought about our vision in the healthcare digital future. We believe that thanks to the eIDAS regulation, the digital identity will enable doctor and medical staff to improve access and patient care using tools such as electronic health record, with certain guarantee of identification. Moreover, the sharing of health information will be more effective and safer, and the patient will be able to digitalize their health life with several benefits in terms of speediness and accuracy of diagnosis, but keeping control over the time. Of course, we all must figure out with the criticals about data retention as today. Isn't a European regulation about cloud, but only some recommendation. We need to define a model of universal access authorization data, which must be given by the patient, which should be able to revoke in compliance privacy statements policy. As a trust service provider, InfoCert will keep supporting the digitalization of health process, enabling trust between all parties to be able to guarantee the certification of identity, security, and data sharing. Thank you for your attention.
Avanti. Okay, so it's, I have one remarks about this, because it's quite clear that we have organizations which are quite keen in considering that digital solution, I mean electronic health records and this kind of technology can, I wouldn't say could, can help in managing these services. The point is that, as Carmelo mentioned, it's, we think that it's useful, but the point is to include these new technologies into organization, into groups of human beings which are accustomed in working in some ways. So, and the point is to understand whether we take some risks and how can we manage those risks, because what is about technology, IT technology, is not so concrete somehow. So it's difficult to make clear to them what is not so clearly defined and visible somehow. So it's, I think it's very important now to think about what about data protection, which kind of issues, and particularly to ensure that people have all the ways and understandable way to protect data. And the reason why the floor is for Kim Westerlund, which is who is a Chief Development Officer at Nixu here in Finland. So it's at home. So please, Don.
Thank you. Is this on? Yeah. I'm truly honored to be speaking here amongst leading thinkers. And so thank you very much, Global Forum, for the invite. Yeah, I come from Nixu. It's a professional services company. And I've been working with cybersecurity, or it was called information security, for more than 17 years now, full time. And I genuinely believe that technology itself is not inherently a threat to privacy and security. It's how we use it. And my introduction today is about security and privacy standards, regulation, and the unfortunate driving force behind these, cybercrime. We have all heard that cybercrime is a growing business. It's estimated by several studies to already be the size of the narco business. Still, we think that it's a very small chance and that this could ever affect me. This applies to private persons, IoT manufacturers, critical infrastructure, healthcare, you name it. Here's the takeaway. Criminals have always been good in monetizing whatever they can get their hands on. But they will go for the low-hanging fruits. In cyberspace, it has so far mostly been credit card records that have been the easiest way to making money. And lately, more and more ransomware. There's even a viral ecosystem with successful businesses in helping starting cyber criminals. A drive-by download web toolkit, for example, which includes updates and 24/7 support, can be rented for between 100 to 700 euro per week. Distributed denial of service attacks can be ordered from 10 to 1,000 euro per day. In terms of the buyer's market, credit card details can be bought starting from 50 cents per card. How much can you earn from stealing health records or sensor data? Let me help you to see that from a crook's point of view by telling a story. The names are fictive, but sadly the scenario in the story very true, as we have all heard from the news. Let's go to Chisinau, Moldova and meet Vlad. Vlad is interested in hacking and security. He has access to all the information he ever needs, thanks to the internet. He was only 16 when he learned to hack into less protected servers. He wants to make his dream come true and make his first million, which is 44,000 euros. And now he's planned an attack against My Health app Limited. He's got many options to do it. And without going too deep into device server trust, relationship, privilege escalation, and lateral movement, he chooses one very easy and simple way. He develops a malware that will give him full access to a Windows machine. That's not too hard with modern exploit toolkits such as Black Hole and Metasploit. Now he only needs to find a suitable target. With a call to the help desk and some LinkedIn browsing, he finds some outsourced help desk users of My Health app. One well-crafted email with a link to a web server that's only purpose is to plant the malware on the poor help desk user's machine. And a few hours later, Vlad gets notified that his target is infected. Through the help desk user's desktop with stolen credentials, he finds his way to the crown jewel, My Health app's database. Then what? How can he turn this into cash? His weapon of choice is extortion. After getting the database sorted on his computer, he starts searching for some VIPs, where again, LinkedIn and Google helps a lot. Now it gets really interesting. It takes a while to find enough C-level targets with possibly something to hide, like STD, impotence, depression, alcoholism, cancer, you name it. The next step is to utilize a free build your own ransomware toolkit to approach the targets with the ransom letter and payment information. Personalized letters with very private health, location, sleeping habits, information that gets the attention of those 10 targets leads to that they easily pay a ransom of 5,000 euros on Vlad's untraceable account. Vlad got his first million, but does he stop there? How could this be prevented, or at least make it harder so that there would be some other fruits hanging lower? As said, this happens today because the service providers and IoT-enabled device manufacturers, cloud providers, are not taking the risk seriously enough, and there is not enough public pressure. What then would have hindered Vlad? I believe that it will take too long for the public opinion to see data and privacy protection as an important safety attribute. And consumers will not have the ability to verify. They will just have to trust. So will regulations patch this lack? In US, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, is antiquated and inadequate. That law doesn't regulate online entities like Google or Facebook, which collect health data intentionally or not, and could become major custodians of health data in the future. And despite HIPAA, 29 million US health records were compromised between 2010 and 2013. We don't have the authorities to regulate IoT, big data, cloud, etc. But if every country invents their own standards and regulation, it becomes a heavy burden for startup, and innovation will cease. Standardization and open source libraries and public sector spearheads, on the other hand, nourish teams that head for global markets. Privacy cannot be assured solely by compliance with legislation and regulatory frameworks. Rather, privacy assurance must become an organization's default mode of operation. Standards should support initiatives such as privacy by design. Ensuring privacy and gaining personal control over one's information, and for organization gaining a sustainable competitive advantage, may be accomplished by practicing the 7 foundational principles. Before the fact, not after. Privacy enhancing technologies such as presented in PETS framework can minimize threats. Secondly, if an individual does nothing, their privacy still remains intact. No action is required on the part of the individual to protect their privacy. Privacy is embedded into the design and architecture of IT systems and business practices, so also processes. It is not bolted as an add-on after the fact. The result is that it becomes an essential component of the core functionality being delivered. Privacy is integral to the system without diminishing functionality. Fourth, privacy by design seeks to accommodate all legitimate interests and objectives with a positive sum, win-win manner, not through a dated zero-sum approach where unnecessary trade-offs are made. Fifth, privacy by design, having been embedded into the system prior to the first element of information being collected, extends throughout the entire life cycle of the data involved. This could enable the user to actually own and control the data, whereas nowadays the situation is totally upside down. Users sell their data in exchange for some application. All or nothing. Privacy by design seeks to assure all stakeholders that whatever the business practice or technology involved, it is in fact operating according to the stated promise and objectives, subject to an independent verification. And last, above all, privacy by design requires architects and operators to keep the interest of the individual uppermost by offering such measures as strong privacy defaults, appropriate notice, and empowering user-friendly options. Keep it user-centric. We are the ones who have to set the baseline and make security an enabler for new innovation. It can be done, but not with ignorance and hoping that the industry will figure it out by themselves. Thank you.